shiny grey water whirling through the entire air, breaking the surfaces of the world into billions of jewelled fragments, holograms of the dry structures, gravity defying as they twist and surge in their post-impressionist ferocity, that's chattering against all the forms that emerge naked from the ground, hissing and spitting across the membranes of matter, separating darkness from pigmented reflections, liquid trees shaking, waking in the thickness of the remorseless forces buffeting them, gravitational curling and uncurling, spirals and counter-spirals rotating, filled with the colours of the hidden star. Shivering forms clinging to the edges of the shadows for survival are plucked from their meagre shelter and tossed into the maelstrom, dancing from one vortex to another, quivering in the atomic turbulence of the chaotic fluctuations of density, solar energy spewing their photons and plasmas across the fizzing void to the chemical wonders of the spherical magnet. A brief spasm of that ancient unknowable burst, sputtering in the invisible mysteries of the dimensions of disbelief. Their warmth sliced away by the sharp, sodden gusts of roaring breath, the survivors glare through the windows of their shop, weary, deep with the muteness of a common tragedy, a disaster without boundaries between beings, an utter tininess in the face of the passage of time. Yet, faint tendrils of invisible steam begin to pierce through the topmost layers, silently drifting in the limpid oxygen glaze, moving their intricate complexities up and out, faint notes in a warm song, carefully plucking the moisture from between the granules of the crystalline levels, gathering vibrational strength with division and subdivision until a vast population of minute inanimate breathing forms climbed faster and faster through the nitrogen blue, immense queues of tenuous molecules reaching for the long-lost oblivion of the immense black sphere where they led billions of adolescent years, randomly clumping together into hungry lumps, gently falling in all directions to the eventual everywhere of a boiling planet. Machines of fire gobbing glass into parabolas of brilliant earthlight, an incoherent ferment of future possibilities, a staggering immensity of indecisions, the mad mathematics of the thief with no name and no existence. Here and there, in the concretions of time's lost memories, hearts began to glow and eyes to smile as they gazed through the gathering haze at the ghosts of evaporation, shaking with cold joys as the warm caress of starlight splintered through the clouds, refracting and diffracting, spinning webs of streaming colour through the volumes of perception, colliding with the vague shapes of the shadows that stood variously in the springtime of the field of view. Little beads of perspiration strung like stones across the valleys of pearlescent light sparkled mirthfully against the flesh of the revivers, their limbs and wings loosening, stretching, torturing the memories of recent calamities into the deep catacombs of forgetfulness, as all around ever more distinct shapes pulled free from the quiet mask of anonymity, creaking their way from plinth to motion. Under the cellular pavements, coloured liquids flow less slowly now, bearing molecular gifts to the engines of respiration, removing the ancient poisons to the slime sponges where the worlds collide. The shaking of heads and preening of hairs, the ruffling of feathers and the sharpening of nails, awaiting the thinning of the fragrant mist that hangs heavy in the forest with the acceleration of time. Sounds pattern their way through the rivers of communication. Tongues and scratching wings release their secret codes. And at some mysterious moment, all stand on the very tips of their toes, reach up, and, slowly at first, rise into the air.